Okay, to multiply fractions. Let's think of multiplying fractions and using the word of. Okay, so if I had the problem 1/2 times 1/2. Okay, when we multiply fractions, this is really the same as 1/2 of 1/2. Okay, so of means multiply. What is half of a half? Again, if we had money, okay, and this is a $1/2. What is half of a half? Okay, well, half of a half, we know, is a quarter. Okay, so this is how we can figure out what the rule is for multiplying two fractions. Again, it doesn't matter anymore now whether the denominators are the same or not. They happen to be the same here, but the rule is going to be for multiplying fractions, we multiply the top number times top. 1 times 1 is 1, and we multiply the bottom number times the bottom. 2 times 2 is 4, okay? So 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. Okay, half of a half is a quarter. Let me give you another example. Remember, top times top, bottom times bottom. What if we had 1/2 times 2/3? Okay, top times top, 1 times 2 is 2. Bottom times bottom, 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, I get 2/6. I've got to reduce this. I can divide this by 2, and I can divide this by 2. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 6 3 times. The answer is 1/3. Sometimes we can simplify these fractions before we do the multiplication. Okay, we used to call this canceling. What we could do here is we could say, well, we have a 2 on top of one fraction and a 2 on the bottom of another fraction. This is going to be just like reducing that fraction as if it were all 1. I'm going to say to myself, well, 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 2 once. Okay, now I have some even smaller numbers to work with. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. You get your answer a little quicker. Okay, so sometimes canceling is going to be helpful. It's not necessary, but it could be helpful. What if we have a whole number involved? Okay, what if we have a problem like 1/2 times 4, or 1/2 of 4? Well, if you have $4, what's half of 4? Well, we know the answer is 2. Okay? All we have to do here is change this whole number into a fraction. We're just going to put a 1 underneath it. Okay? Put a 1 for denominator. Now we have the same situation. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay? That would be 4 halves, which would reduce to 2 over 1. Anytime you have a number over 1, that's the same as the number as a whole number, the top number. Okay? 2 1s is just equal to 2. 3 1s is equal to 3. 4 1s is equal to 4. Could we cancel here? Yes, we could. We could say 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. And again, now we get, before we get our 2, we're going to get 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 over 1 is going to be 2 again. Okay? We could have also divided out that fraction. Let's do that one over again. 1/2 times 4. We're going to make that 4 over 1. I'm not going to do any canceling. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. That's 4 divided by 2. That's 4 divided by 2. 2 goes into 4. So we still get our answer of 2. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the division of fractions. Okay? Here's an example. What is 1/2 divided by 1/4? Okay? Or this could be, what is 1/2, a $1/2, divided into fourths or divided into quarters? Okay? Well, we know the answer is going to be 2 quarters. Okay? So we know the answer is going to be 2. If you remember this example, it'll show you how we calculate this. Okay? In order to divide fractions, we have to use a little trick. Okay? This is going to involve rewriting. Okay? Very important. Okay? We have to do a rewrite. Okay? We just learned multiplication of fractions, and multiplication of fractions is pretty simple. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Okay? So what we're going to do with division is we're going to change this into a multiplication problem that'll give us the right answer. Okay? And to do this, we have to do this little trick. Okay? That works like this. Okay? We're going to rewrite this. The first number in our problem is going to stay the same. Okay? So the first number stays the same. Okay? The sign, this division sign, is going to change to something easy. It's going to change to multiplication. Okay? So the sign changes to multiply. Okay? The sign changes to multiply. Now we can't just change the sign and expect to get the correct answer. So we have to do something to the second number. Okay? For this to work, this second number, we have to flip the top and the bottom numbers. Okay? So instead of 1 over 4, this is going to become 4 over 1. Okay? So the third step here is to flip the second number. Okay? And then you multiply. Okay? So in order to divide two fractions, we have to use the trick. We have to rewrite it. First number stays the same. Sign changes to multiply, which is a lot easier. And the second fraction has to be flipped, or we use this reciprocal, we say, okay? The bottom number becomes the top number becomes the bottom number. Now we have to remember how to multiply. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Well, that would give us 4 over 2, which would give us 2. We could cancel. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 4 twice, okay? That gives us 2 over 1, which is just 2, so it works, okay? It'll work for this problem, and it'll work for any division problem. Let me give you another example. Okay, let's divide another problem, okay? 2/3 divided by 3/4, okay? When I see a division problem, a bell has to go off in my head and say, okay, I have to use the trick. I have to rewrite this. Here's my rewrite. First number stays the same. Sign changes to multiply. And I have to use the reciprocal of the second number. I have to flip the second number. So 3 over 4 becomes 4 over 3. Okay? I don't see any place I can cancel here, so I'm just going to go ahead and multiply. When we have multiplication, it's top times top, bottom times bottom. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. And we have the correct answer, okay? 2/3 divided by 3/4 is 8/9. Okay? Okay, just to do a little quick review for you. Remember that when we add fractions or subtract fractions, if the denominators are the same, 3/5 plus 1/5, we just keep that denominator and we add the numerators, okay? That's equal to 4/5. 3/5 minus 1/5, the denominators are the same. 3 minus 1 is 2. The denominator stays the same. 3/5 minus 1/5 is 2/5, okay? You have to remember how to do common denominators and mixed numbers as well. Multiplying fractions, okay? What if we have 2/3 times 4/5, okay? Top times top, bottom times bottom. I don't see any place to cancel here. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 5 is 15. The answer is 8/15, okay? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. What if I have 3/4 divided by 4/5? Okay, that bell goes off in my head. I say I have to rewrite these. Use the trick. First number stays the same. Division becomes multiplication. 4/5 becomes 5/4. I don't see any place to cancel. 3 times 5, top times top is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. Bottom times bottom, 4 times 4 is 16. The answer is 16. Okay, 15/16. Okay, adding fractions, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing.